Hi, and welcome to the Great 88. My name is Jeffrey Kelly, and I wanted to take a moment and take a look into the looking glass. And today I had the idea to share a book with you. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. It's this little magical book right here, Christ in You. As you can see, it's a little tattered and torn. This book has been with me for many years. Uh, I was seeking years ago. I was young, probably 19, 20 years old, and started seeking. I've always been a seeker of truth and knowledge. And so I was at a bookstore in Salt Lake City, Utah called Golden Braid Bookstore, and wasn't sure what I was looking for. Just kind of in prayer, looking around. I would go to walk down this aisle, and this little book just jumps off the shelf and lands on the ground in front of me, like a ways down the row there, right in front of me. There's nobody around. I look on the other side of the aisle. There's nobody over there either. It just like hopped off the shelf, which was strange. So of course I picked the book up, and it was this book, and it's been with me ever since. It's going on what 30 years now? Yeah, 30 years. Turn 51 next month. Um, and yeah, so I've been wanting to share this book in a way, uh, just to for me, it helped me a lot in my life and my seeking of Christ. You read the Bible, and sometimes the Bible's hard to comprehend. It takes prayer. I mean, and I think that's one of the issues with the Bible in the world is that people, you know, if you take 10 men and read one verse in the Bible, you kind of get 10 different, not all the time, but you get different perceptions of what the word is saying. And so this book cites a lot of scripture as you go along reading it. For instance, uh, it starts out with two scriptures: Proverbs 8 verse 4, and Matthew, let's see, 13 verse 16 and 17, which is, "Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is unto the sons of men." That's Proverbs 8, verse 4. And then it says, this is before you even get into part one of the book. Then it says right below that, "Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see the things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear the things which ye hear, and have not heard them." That's Matthew 13, verse 16 and 17. Then it goes into part one, Christ in You. And I know it sounds controversial because modern day Christianity is like God is out there somewhere. But uh, in all of my seeking, um, it's it's as though, I mean, at some point, like your very DNA, the very thing that animates our body, Christ is within us. And they say, like, listen to your heart. So if we're praying to a God that's far off and we're sending our prayers out, we do that with people as well. I mean, we send our prayers out there somewhere, out there in the world. Then one of the things that the book taught me is that, you know, you close your eyes, basically you could go anywhere in the universe right inside of your own imagination. I could be in Hawaii right now. I could be with my friend in the hospital. I can be present with them. I can see them in a new light. I can bless them right here inside of myself. I don't send it out there like it's going to travel somewhere out there. And it's just much simpler to keep it like centered inside of ourselves. And it's one of the great blessings that I've gotten out of this book in a different way to see the relationship with God. It's not far out there. It's right here. It's right now. It's the spoken word. It's the breath of life. It's the eyes. It's the waves. It's the wind in the tree. It's the tree itself. It's everywhere. Spirit animates all things always. And one of the things that the book teaches is that, you know, blessed are your eyes, for they shall see. And I know it goes hand in hand with the scriptures. What I'm getting at, just a different way to perceive the same words. And it, as you read along in here, which I'm going to do this time, I'm going to read the scripture that's cited. You'll see, like, on every, see how at the bottom it cites scripture. I don't know if you can see that. First Corinthians 2, 9, 10, and 14. So I'm going to start off by reading that, and then I'm going to read the chapter, and we will chat about it. And you know, I post these online, these little videos that I make, and I would love to get your feedback and get some commentary on it and your guys' thoughts if you discovered anything new, or if you have questions, or you know, there's a lot to be discovered inside of just conversation with each other. So, and this time, you know, it's January 23rd, what is today? January 22nd? No, 23rd. Today's January 23rd. The world is in a dark time. Our elections were just interfered with. We're dealing with a deadly virus. Our economy is shut down worldwide. People are and there's a lot of fear out there. So my hope is that me sharing, reading some word in prayer, and sharing, just open sharing, we can calm some of those fears, keep our faith, keep our eyes on the ball, on God, um, be patient, be loving to one another. Uh, and anyway, so I'm going to start off with First Corinthians, or the the verses that chapter 2, 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9 says, "But as it is written, I, the eye, hath not seen, nor the ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, the things which God hath prepared for them that love him." So neither has eye seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, yea, the deep things of God. The deep things of God. Okay. Sorry, I have a hard time. That's one of the struggles with reading scripture, is really have to read it prayerfully and precisely. It's easy to get misperceptions inside of there, but and then verse 14 in First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14 is this: "But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolish unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned." Anyway, so that's the verses that are cited. Now let's go into the first lesson, a voice from the heights. I am obliged to use your words and modes of expression, but I must say at the beginning that they are wholly inadequate to convey spiritual truths. I long to help people who seem to be in the same mistaken conditions in which I once was, for man does not know himself. We will consider together something of the truth of being, the most essential and the first of all things. You are not the outward and visible form. This is the feeblest and the most distant likeness of your real self. I will explain by illustration. When an artist paints a picture, he does not put on the canvas the reality. He gives you simply a copy of that which is within himself. The real picture is on the spiritual plane and exists there much more truly than on the canvas. The real picture remains forever, the canvas does not. No poet can give you his true poem. He does his best to convey something of its beauty, something of its life, but even then, it is far removed from his ideal. That too is on the plane of reality. To me, that reminds me of like trying to explain the unexplainable, that words are finite and we have these infinite visions. And it's like, trying to explain the waves to people. Like if you were trying to explain the color blue to people, no matter how hard you tried, could you really, using words, convey the color blue? And what would you say? So, words are wholly inadequate to convey spiritual truths. It's one of the things we deal with. There is a vast amount of creative energy working in and through the material plane. Like the picture and the poem, this energy is invisible to you. We want you to distinguish between reality and shadow. The physical plane, or plane of the senses, is a shadow, a faint imitation of the spiritual and the only real. Your work is to show forth higher laws and to live, breathe, and breathe entirely from the plane of spirit, to create anew from the very center of all life, to make one the kingdom of earth and the kingdom of heaven. You are not to think of yourself and the universe now visible to you as real. It is this that constitutes the difference between us. We have entered into a larger consciousness of God, whereas you are content with the shadows of things. Just think how all your finest thought seems to vanish with the passing of great minds from your midst. Yet this is not the case, as you will discover when you awaken to the knowledge of a life that ever progresses from the unreal to the true. When this consciousness permeates the whole human race, you will be lifted to a higher plane, for the growth is simply a larger consciousness. Heaven is not a place, but a consciousness of God. God cannot be thought of as a personality, since God is all in and in all. The absolute is above and beyond the conception of finite mind, yet infinitely meek and lowly, filling all space. As you emerge into this all-pervading love, the true life becomes manifest and is always the answer to the deepest and highest aspirations of the soul. It is love fulfilling itself. Thank God for now. Learn first and thoroughly that you have been and will be forever. Your present condition is an opportunity for spiritual advancement. Make the most and the best of your life now. And then I'm only going to do one lesson at a time, but lesson 2 is freedom by understanding. So yeah, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on that. For me, I mean, I mentioned a couple things that came up for me inside of that is vast amount of creative energy working in and through the material plane. But this is the shadow reality out here. The manifest world is, I don't know, just what that opens up for me inside of the looking glass is what animates the tree. Like from the inside, I often like contemplate, is the wind moving the tree or is the tree moving the wind? And vice versa, you know, what's moving the ocean waves? And what's the relationship between the wind and the ocean? What's the relationship between the sun and the ocean waves, or the sun and the wind? See how it all works together, and it's this vision of things that you can't really explain using finite words. It's indescribable. Even if you were to see the true picture of it, you wouldn't be able to paint it the way you saw it. You wouldn't be able to, you could come close as you can, and this is where genius comes in. This is where geniuses poems that uh, find the right combination of words that are able to give others a glimpse into a deeper vision rather than just blindly walking through the world and assuming, when never contemplating the nature of it, just assuming it is what it is, like that. I mean, it's an opening of the mind. It's a different way to look at the world in a prayerful way. I call it the looking glass. This is the grade 88 uh, looking glass. This is part of the vision that I had in the looking glass. So yeah, I'll be sharing more of this book with you. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. I got deplatformed off of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I did find out that I do have a YouTube account still. I don't know how. So I'll be posting these on YouTube, and you can follow me on there. My YouTube channel is As I Am Now. You can find me. Um, I had that name before I had the Great 88, and I guess I might be able to create a new YouTube channel, but that one's all set up, so I'll probably just use that one. Anyhow, I look forward to your likes and your shares and your commentary, and um, yeah, so thanks for joining me. Let me hear from you. Till next time, see you then.